Right then lads, it is time to rank every player's season in the 2023-24 squad of Newcastle United. We're going to be doing it in a tier list form. We'll show you the tiers now. At the top we've got unreal, solid lad, average, nay good, and awful mate. If you want to do this tier list, it is on tier list maker. Go on my profile, type in Newcastle United squad 2023-2024. Go on there, do it yourself, send us on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Do the tier list yourself, but this is going to be every player ranked in this tier list. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to leave a like, boys, subscribe to the channel, and like the keep or sell video. We'll start off with the goalkeepers. So then, starting off with Martin Dubravka, played every game for Newcastle since December apart from one. Disappointing in my opinion. I think he's one to go, and I think he's cost us some points this season. Yes, he has been sound in some games, but for me, I've put him in nay good. I think it's been a disappointing year for Martin, and I think it's time for him to move on. Karius now, really bad. I think he should have had a fair crack when Dubravka was putting in shite performances week in, week out, and I think it was unfair, but Karius, for me, he's got to go an awful mate. He has to. He's came to the club, played twice and conceded 6 goals, one in a cup final, one against Arsenal. Disappointing for him, and he will move on next year. Mark Gillespie's not played a single minute for the club, so you can't really see anything. He will stay at the club. He must be good in the dressing room, like what Eddie Howe said when he went to Australia. So for me, I've put Mark Gillespie in average. I can't really say much more. And Nick Pope, obviously the injury was so disappointing what Nick got, shoulder injury, really disappointing how he got the injury, affected Newcastle massively. We weren't confident with Dubravka in net. When Nick Pope played this season, we've looked fine. We were still pushing for top 6, top 5 when Nick Pope was in net, and then Dubravka came in and we pitted off massively. We did. In December we struggled really bad, and I wouldn't say it was just Dubravka's fault why we didn't win games, but it was a massive factor. So for how Nick Pope's played this season and how he's actually performed, I've put him in solid. Like, he has been solid when he's played. A couple of mistakes there and there, but it happens as the goalkeeper. He's kept us in some massive games, and especially in the Champions League he was absolutely massive. In PSG away, I think Nick Pope, I think he deserves to be Newcastle keeper next year and be number 1. Right backs now, we'll start off with Kieran Trippier. A disappointing year. It has been. Around that December time, obviously, we went out the Carabao Cup due to his mistake, and then he missed his penalty. Everton away, 2 mistakes, cost us the game. But I think people forget how good he was at the start of the season. 10 assists, he picked up 3 assists in 1 game. Still a very good squad player, but I think he is starting to peter out of his career. He's starting to lose that bit of pace. Obviously, Man United away when he kept Amad Diallo on side, little things like that are game changing, and why we haven't got Europe, the fine margins. But Trippier, average year for me. I think he could do better, but he's not going into solid. He's had a disappointing year, but he's not been nay good. Emil Kraft now signed a new contract, which I think is a bit mad. He's been at the club since 2019, been playing centre half for most of the year, and I don't think he's been too good. I've put him in nay good. The amount of teams that were targeting him towards the end of the season, it was like it was a bit ridiculous. The amount of teams that were coming to him, trying to just attack him and not really focus on the left hand side. Not really Lewis Hall defensively had to do, not really Dan Burn had to do. It was all on Tino and Kraft's side because they were targeting Kraft way too much, but I've put him in nay good. Tino Livramento, he's picked up a couple of injuries there and there throughout the season, but I've put him in solid. I think he has been really solid. Made his proper debut when he's marquee for Newcastle, Man City in the Carabao Cup. He was absolutely unbelievable. One of the best right back performances I've ever seen in football. Went to the Carabao Cup 4th round against Man United and was sublime yet again. I think he got man of the match in both of them games. And then in the league, Trippier got injured. Dan Burn got injured. Played some crucial minutes for Newcastle and played some crucial games, and I think he's been solid for the Toon. Matt Targett now, such a disappointing year. He's missed over 30 games this season, hardly played. Been on the bench once since his injury at Man United away in the Carabao Cup. Awful, right down at the bottom. Lewis Hall, fans were questioning when he first started playing. Man City at home, I think he struggled a lot. Was playing in centre mid as well, which doesn't help. But as soon as he got a run of games, it's massive for a player. You can train so much, you can try and impress the manager so much, but if you're not playing on the pitch on a Saturday afternoon, that's when it matters. That's when you've got to be playing, and he's got a run of games, and he's shown to everyone how he is so good at that age. Geordie lad, still not been confirmed if he's actually staying at the club. We'll have to wait and see on that, but for me, Lewis Hall, when he's played, solid. Paul Dummett now, disappointing year, cost Newcastle United 2 points by giving away the penalty against Everton. Hasn't really played. Had a good game against Man City and Man United in the Carabao Cup, but I've put him in awful. Just due to that Ashley Young penalty against Everton. I think that's a main factor of why we're not got you next season, but no, awful. Matt Ritchie scored 1 goal. Must be good for the dressing room. I remember his interview after the Bournemouth game. Obviously, we were disappointed. We dropped 2 massive points, and scored his first goal and saying his love for the football club and how much of a special football club it is. And he wants this club to do so well, and little things like that. But he will probably leave the club. I've put him in there good. Dan Burn now. It's been a weird year for Dan. Towards the end of the season, massive season. I think playing centre half is his position. At the start of the season, he was okay in left back. In the middle of the year, around the December, January and February time, he was playing left back week in, week out, and fans were really questioning Eddie Howe at that point. It was really disappointing. We conceded a lot of goals from the right hand side of their team. I can remember Luton did, Bournemouth did. So many teams were scoring from that right hand side, and something had to change. We brought in Lewis Hall. Tino's was there at some time, but Dan Burn obviously scored in the Champions League. Newcastle captain towards the end. For me, Dan Burn, an average year. Jamal Lascelles, I think I've looking at it now, I might have been a bit too harsh. I've put him in average. When he has played during the Champions League, obviously he didn't play against AC Milan away. It was PSG at home. He came in, fans were like, "Well, look, we know he's got a mistake in him, but we'll have to wait and see." He was absolutely sublime in that game, PSG at home. And even some of the other games, PSG away, he was really good. Obviously Dortmund was a disappointing one, but in the league, little mistakes there and there. You could see he hasn't played in ages, but he was playing week in, week out due to injuries. You know he's not a starter, but I've put him in average. I don't know if that's been a bit too harsh. I don't know if he should be in solid for how good he was in them Champions League games, but I've put him in average. Fabian Shaw now, there's only one place Fabi's going to go. Scored some amazing goals for the club this year. Been a massive part. He is going into unreal. He's been the first player to get there so far in the video. Really good, Fabian Shaw. Honestly, boys, what a year. Some centre half. Scored some amazing goals. Defensively sound. He's got a ping on him, and probably going to be a Newcastle legend in the Stars. One of the best centre backs in recent years, and doesn't get spoken about enough. 3.5 million, absolute bargain. Final centre half now, Sven Botman. It's been a disappointing year for Sven, and obviously the injury. It's not due to his performances, but I've put him in there good. I think performance-wise, he's struggled a lot. Injuries haven't helped. He's out now, probably till January, which is so disappointing. So a centre half is needed in the summer, but we've only got 2 at the club, and Sven's were the best one. The year we got Champions League football, he was so good in his debut season in Newcastle. And last year, played some good games like Sheffield United away, got his first goal, scored against Liverpool away, was unbelievable at AC Milan away, but obviously only got that one Champions League game under his belt. He will come back good, hopefully, but I've put him in there good. Joe White, I think he will go out on loan next season, but he has played a couple of times for the Toon. I've put him in average. You can't really judge too much. He came back from loan and was put straight on the bench due to the injuries, so an average year for Joe White. Should go out on loan next year and get some more football. Lewis Miley, what a year for him. Made his debut last year, other than the year before now. Chelsea last game of the season. And then came into the squad, had his first start against Man City in the Carabao Cup. Got brought off at half time. His first start was Bournemouth away. Performed really well. Chelsea at home, he was sublime. And then since then, it was just every game, he was just looking so good. Got his first goal for the club. And then it was just, he was unreal. I think he deserved to be starting over Longstaff in some games, but he didn't. For me, Lewis Miley's only going one place, and that is solid. Bruno Guimaraes, what a year. I think he could have potentially got player of the year. He was absolutely amazing for Newcastle. Scored so many crucial goals this year. Forest away, Fulham away, Sheffield United at home. Some really important goals. He's so good. Played every game apart from Bournemouth away due to getting, I think it was 5 yellow cards at that time. Absolutely unbelievable. What a year for Bruno G. Unreal, sublime. Elliot Anderson obviously picked up that back injury, which was a disappointing one. I think he got that in around October time. Didn't come back to the squad until I think it was April, late March, but came back into the squad. Got a run of games under his belt and performed quite well. As the injury hasn't helped, but I've put him in average. I think get some more games. Even if he gets a loan next year, could be beneficial for his career, but a decent year for Elliot. Joe Willock, really disappointing year. Picked up the injury against Brighton, third last game of the Champions League year. Didn't come back until October, made his return against Dortmund in the Champions League. Had a couple of good games on there, obviously Arsenal at home, Man United in the Cup, and then picked up an injury again before the Chelsea game at home. Maybe didn't have a bench. Willock was out for a very long time, came back and then got injured again. It's like, it's never ending with Joe Willock. I don't know if he will come back good, if he will even come back good. I've put him in A good. It's been a disappointing year for Joe Willock. Joe Linton picked up 2 injuries over the season. One at the start during when we played AC Milan and PSG in the Champions League. Also got the injury towards the end of the year, came back, looked good, just needs to come back fitter than ever, and he will become good next season. Obviously signed the contract that we were all dreading. Joe Linton, good year, solid for me. I think when he has played, he's been one of Newcastle's best players. I think I would put him in unreal, but the injuries haven't helped, and next year he will come good. And then Sean Longstaff, a lot of criticism this season. Disappointing. Obviously you don't want your players getting criticised, but has been bad in some games and really has been, so there's nothing more you can say. I've put him in A good. I think you can't put him in awful because he scored some crucial goals for Newcastle, but I can't put him in average either because he's had some really bad games, so yeah, Longstaff's gone there. Sandro Tonali is going in awful, that's all I can say. Obviously got the ban, 2 more games and he's back, but he goes into the awful. I can't really say much more. Played 8 games, scored a goal against Villa. Was limbs, was class, but he goes down there in the bottom. Jacob Murphy now, scored some good goals. Got a lot of assists for Newcastle this season, but some games disappointing. It's a tough one, obviously. That right wing's a priority. We need to be signing a big name player up there. If not, we're going to struggle next season. I'll put him in average. I think it's all you can really say about Jacob Murphy's at average. Obviously, yeah, he got a massive injury as well. Like, fucking, who hasn't had an injury this year, man? Fucking hell. And then Almiron, disappointing year. Off the top of my head, as he scored 2 goals this season, only ones I can think of is, or 3. Burnley at home, PSG at home, and then Fulham at home. Apart from that, I don't think he scored a goal. I think Jacob Murphy's got more assists this season than Almiron has since 2019. That's scary. That is really scary. So, nay good for me. Harvey Barnes, tricky one. It's either nay good or average. Obviously signed for a lot of money. We got rid of Maxi to sign Harvey. He will come good if he gets a run of games, but the injury was so disappointing. Finally came back and scored some really crucial goals. He is a clutch player. He always has, always will be. Brentford away, really good crucial goal to get us 1-0 up. West Ham at home, unbelievable limbs. Them 2 goals were really important. And then obviously Luton at home to make it 4-4. I've put Harvey Barnes on average. We need to see more of him next season. Anthony Gordon, Newcastle United's Player of the Year, is only gone in one place. It's gone into unreal. What a season Anthony Gordon's had. I think it's 11 goals, 10 assists just in the league. Sublime. Unreal year for Anthony Gordon. Callum Wilson now, disappointing year. 5 injuries. 5 different injuries throughout the whole season. It is not good enough. It really, we can't continue with that. We can't continue with injury prone strikers. Yeah, but yeah, like I say as well, I think it's 11 goals this season for Callum. Still scores goals, still loves a goal, but the injuries are just really disappointing, so I've put him in average. Alexander Isak, a close contender for Player of the Year. He is getting unreal. What a season. What a player. And we need to do anything to keep our hands on him, because he is absolutely unbelievable for Newcastle and scored some amazing goals in an unbelievable year, and hopefully you can have a bigger and better one next year. And there we go, boys. That is the end of ranking all the players this season in the tier list. Make sure to leave a like, boys, subscribe to the channel. Like I said at the start of the video, if you want to do the tier list, I've made it on Tier List Maker. Have a look on, do it yourself, send us it on Instagram, even just comment who you think. Do you agree, disagree with mine? Let me know. Make sure to leave a like, boys, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all in the next video.